Hang on, everybody. Hopefully that'll work. So how you doing, everybody? I'm on the way to an appointment this evening. My rare night in the field on a Thursday. Usually it's Monday, Tuesdays, and Wednesdays, but I go out and run a couple of appointments this evening. I'm excited about it. Got my information here on my passenger seat here, and got about a half hour, 45-minute drive to my appointment. Figured I'd chat with you for a few minutes. I haven't talked or put a video up in about a week. Been really buried with talking to a lot of folks across the country. Many of you watched this video. Sorry about that, guys. It's part of the process of live streaming in a car, but I had to get the sun in my eyes, and maybe it's on the video on the screen there too much. But anyways, been really busy on the phones and talking to a lot of people across the country that are excited about getting involved in mortgage protection and or final expense sales, or both. And boy, the industry is really growing, and there's many areas across the country that are underserved where we really could use some agents. So as most of you know that you watch these videos, Angela and I are building our agency. We've been doing this business for about 30 years, and we love working with people. So not everybody qualifies, of course, and is a fit for what we're doing here at at our end agency. And but again, that's my disclaimer on all the videos, is that while I try to remain unbiased, and I do provide documentation, and what do we always say in the video on the video? We provide the facts, and we allow you to decide. And so that part of it is always unbiased. But if you are fit for what we're doing, would we hire you? Absolutely. But anyway, I wanted one of the things I like to do on these. And I apologize for that sun. That's better. On these lights, that's much better actually. Good idea, Steve. One of the things I like to do on these videos is talk about the things that I've been asked during the course of the week, and I think those are valuable. Obviously, if I've been asked enough about them over, I've been 50, 60 conversations, there'd be on email or on the telephone, that obviously it's a question that many people may have but aren't willing to ask. And so one of those is, what skills and or abilities do I need to have to be successful in mortgage protection or final expense sales? Sorry, the camera's hitting the window there. I don't have my window mount thing today, so it's on a temporary mount. So if you're getting a little banging noise, that's why. See if I can fix that now as we turn the corner. Let's see if I can keep it good. That's better. So again, what skills and abilities I feel you have to succeed in mortgage protection or final expense sales. I can't beat the sun. I think one of the things is you have to be excited and passionate about the consumer. One of the things we talk about on our call a lot is, this is not vacuum cleaner sales, and you probably heard me say it on another video. I can't remember now, but it's not vacuum cleaner sales. We're not selling cars. No disrespect to vacuum cleaner salesman or a car salesman, but those are not really emotional items, right? I don't know if people get excited about a vacuum cleaner. I guess some ladies do. But try buying one for your wife or your lady for Christmas and see how that goes over. See how excited she gets about that. But I made that mistake myself. But anyway, again, part of the passion comes from understanding that what we do changes lives. I mean, and it affects lives that we, for whatever reason, don't get in front of. And I think when it comes down to what do we do in this business, right? We get it's a leads-based sales opportunity. So many of you working leads, and that's great. I think you should do that. Absolutely, should be with an IMO that has a high-quality lead program. Again, what we always say: no repurposing, no redating, no recycling. It's funny. I talked to a guy the other day. He said, I went back to my my IMO and I told him what you said, Steve, and he said that anybody would say that must not be making any money. You know why he said that? Because the comp plans that he's with, that I've talked about before, where they cap you at 80% if you don't recruit. That because he understands those kind of comp plans are designed for recruiters. They're designed for builders. They're designed to keep you down. basically at a lower comp plan to keep his spread high, so he makes to let you folks know what questions to ask. Got a new video coming out. It's been a long time to get it edited because we've got a couple of takeouts there. I think that you'll like. That's kind of funny, but make sure you watch that over the next couple of days. But and it goes down specifically the 11 things or 10, 11 things you need to know while you're interviewing your IMO. So I should have named it that. It's a good, that rhymes. Things you need to know before you sign with your IMO. Good. Anyway, so going back to what I was saying, you need to be passionate about the consumer and about what we do. Understand that, I've always said that you don't become a life insurance agent until you deliver your first death benefit check, and I think that's true. But you can if you don't have your own stories, if you're starting out brand new and you haven't experienced a death that's of a policyholder that you sold the policy to, or delivered a death benefit, you can live off of other stories. You certainly probably haven't had in your family. I talked to an agent last week that had 6 people passed away in his family in the last year. None of them had any type of life insurance coverage. And you understand, mortgage protection is a form of life insurance, so it's basically the same thing, right? And understand that 54% of the people that lose their home to either death or disability, lose their home because of either death or disability, is why they need life insurance. And I got another video coming out that I think that there's a big trend right now for all agents, but certainly in the mortgage protection industry, the agents that focus on that and working a leads program to understand the change in the market. There's a market shift going on right now where living benefits are huge, and so there's a lot of policy replacing going on. So it's the new or the old kind of insurance, and I'll put a video out about that. But again, so right now my point is, even people that have it taken care of, that's the one thing you're gonna get on the phone when you're booking, you're working leads and you're trying to book appointments, is, oh, we've already got that taken care of, right? But do you have the new or the old? So there's a real opportunity right now for people that are looking at the industry for the first time and just getting their licenses. And for us that have been around it for many, many, many years. I've been selling life insurance since I was 24. So I can still remember today. I got my cubicle and my phone and my phone book, cold calling, and then I had to go knock on doors. So my point is that I kind of got off track there, but be passionate about what you do by grabbing some stories, because remember, facts tell, stories sell. And so you want to have some stories intertwined in your presentation that people can relate to, because otherwise you're selling a vacuum cleaner, and we're not selling vacuum cleaners here. I'll give you an example. A young lady that I met with at 7:30 a year or so ago was actually I met with her at 7:30. She was kind of resistant, didn't know she could afford it, whatever. And that's one of the stories that I tell at my appointments. Of course, my dad passed away at age 47 with no life. I think he had a $10,000 policy, which was nothing. So that's kind of what redirected me into the business in the first place. I was 15 at the time. But this particular person was kind of resistant to the appointment. I went on the appointment anyway. She bought the insurance. I left at right around 7:30, 8 o'clock that night. At 9:38, she was killed hit by a semi-truck while going down to the store to get some milk for her kids. And it's because that I was persistent in setting that appointment and getting and writing the application. That money that was delivered to her enabled her son to have some money and go to college. That's the kind of thing that we do. So you have to be passionate. You have to be more passionate than you had to be salesy. You have to understand that what we do changes lives, and so and really make the difference in someone's life. It's a matter of, many times it's a matter of, like I said before, 54% of the homes are lost in foreclosure due to death or disability. So if that's true, then that means you're helping half the Americans out there solve that problem if you show up. So you have to be persistent in getting the appointment and consistent in your activity in getting those appointments, and that's really what you need to do. Number one, really, is, other than being passionate about what we do, and we got those kind of intertwined together, is being persistent and consistent in your activity that gets the results you're looking for, which number one is booking appointments, right? And then when you get in the home, it's all about making sure that you keep the sale on the emotional side, because it is an emotional sale. People don't buy life insurance, right? I mean, you can stand in the corner, I said before, and ask people if they buy life insurance, and you'll get 99 out of 100 no's. But if you had those same people, if they were to get killed by in a car wreck or die of a heart attack or a stroke that day, would they want their assets of their home going to their kids or their wife? They'd all say, absolutely, I would. Well, that's what we do. So it's an emotional sale. They don't buy life insurance. They buy what life insurance does. The other thing I think you need to have is you need to be passionate. Okay, the first one is passionate. I got that one covered. The second one is you need to own the product, right? I mean, from an integrity standpoint, you need to write a policy on yourself or have someone write a policy on it, because that's one of the things I take into the home is I take my binder in with all my policies. I've got 5 or 6 different policies. I got some term. I got some couple IULs, and because again, term is going to term out, right? And IULs are for the lifetime. So you have to own, what you sell. I believe that's true. I actually pulled over here for my appointment, so I was pretty quick. It's really an integrity and character issue, and it's going to come up. What do you recommend? Well, how can you recommend something? I mean, I guess you can, but it's going to come out in your presentation. So you're going to want to own the product. Write a small policy on yourself, and it'll make a difference in your sales, in your presentation, right? You have to learn how to talk to people. Right? I mean, you have to have a good cell phone. You have a good signal. I mean, look, the phone is our friend in this business. It's a business tool, and to have a lousy cell service or a lousy, what is it? Lousy Bluetooth headset or whatever you're using, where they can hardly understand what you're saying, is not going to bode well for you if you're using that phone to make appointments. It always amazes me how even my own agents will call me, and I had to have them, repeat what they're saying 3 or 4 times because their cell coverage is so poor, or their headset is so poor. I can't hear things they're saying. Well, that's your number one sales tool. You're going to have to be willing to, get a good headset if you're going to book appointments while you're driving, and I don't necessarily recommend that, but or using your cell phone even in your home. I would recommend getting a business line. I don't like to use my cell phone when I'm booking appointments with leads. It's always you want to be as less suspicious as possible, right? So, and I'm not saying that using your cell phone is necessarily suspicious, but most people in business don't use their cell phone unless they're returning a call or something, right? They're calling from their office line. So if they were calling from the bank or the mortgage, lending office or whatever, it would be on their cell phone usually, right? So again, you have to be willing to to learn how to talk to people. If you're a low energy kind of individual, you're going to have to come up a little bit to where you sound you're going to sound way too peppy, right? You don't want to be peppy on the phone. I'm not saying that, but if you have a very monotone, low low energy voice, typically you're going to have to bring it up a little bit. Those of you who are like realtors or what have you that are always peppy and excited, you're going to have to bring it down a little bit. Remember, on the phone when you're setting the appointment, you don't want to sound like a telemarketer, and all telemarketers sound like they're your best friend. I mean, this is when you want to take calls from telemarketers, so you can kind of study what they're doing and don't do that, right? Because we don't want to be telemarketers, right? You have to learn how to handle objections. Now, I have a sheet, 50 different common objections, and as a matter of fact, those of you who are watching today, if you'll put in the comment area below, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell so you can get instant notifications on live streams like this. If you put in the comments, I'll send you that 50 common objections sheet, so you'll have it, because if you can go through those, you'll be a dynamite on the phone. So that's my free gift for those who are watching me today as I'm on the way to this appointment. So the number 4 is you have to learn how to close sales, right? And again, most of when I say closing, it has a bad connotation to it. It sounds like you're selling cars. You're a hard closer. That's not what I'm saying. You have to be willing to be passionate enough to bring them to the point of making a decision, right? For example, and again, since Billy Graham passed away here a couple of weeks ago, I often talk about a Billy Graham close, and that is, if you watched any, go Google one and watch the end of his sermons. His altar call went on for 45 minutes to an hour. It was ridiculous. My mom used to take me to those coliseums when I was 6 or 7 years old, and I'd sit there, and he would just keep beating on that podium, and you could tell that he knew, or he felt very passionate about, you cannot wait another moment. Now is the time. If you wait another moment, it may be too late. And he would do that over and over and over again. And people would be streaming out of the call scenes. By the time he got done, 75% of the people that were sitting in the grandstands were down on the center field, waiting for him to pray with them or over them. So that's, not to that extent, but I would learn the Billy Graham close, right? And that is that you need to be willing to say, hey, Jack and Jill, look, I'm sitting right here. No one's guaranteed tomorrow. Why don't we go ahead and take care of this tonight and go ahead and fill out the application? So you had to learn how to close sales, and we help our agents with that. And look, as I said before, that's why I start off with it, 93% of closing sales is being passionate, being excited about the product. So you had to really understand what it is we do and internalize that and talk to people that had on the other end of a tragedy where someone in their family passed away and they did not have insurance or life insurance, and they were devastated financially. So, you need to, I would give a challenge to everybody that's considering the industry or already in it. Go talk to people that have had that situation happen to them, and it'll bring you to tears, and it'll make you a better agent, right? So, I would encourage you to do that. That's until you have your own experiences in your life, that would be a very good task to do. So I got about 6 minutes before I have to get in the house. The other one I would say is that you have to learn how to be consistent in your activity in this business, or any business really. But when you're your own boss, you're a 1099 contractor, and unless you pick that phone up and make the dials and book appointments and get out there in the car and go drive to the appointments, you're not going to make any money. You can't, and no one can motivate you to get you off the couch but you, right? So you have to learn how to be consistent in the activities that gets the results that you and I are looking for. So, regardless of how you feel, that's the kicker. I know you were all with me until I said that, right? There's days where I've been doing this most of my life, and there's days where I just don't want to go out and get in the car and drive for 2 hours to an appointment, right? But once I get there or get in the car and start heading in that direction, I'm starting to get pumped up. I really do enjoy people. I enjoy all of you that call me and email me and text me. They're looking to get in the business, but I also enjoy going out there in the home, meeting new people, and making friends. I don't close them all. I close about 90% of them, but because I'm passionate about it, and because I had my dad's story, and I've got stories over my career. I can look somebody square in the eye and go, Jack and Jill, man, I'm sitting right here. If I walk out that door tonight without an application, look, my number one objective when I came in the home, Jack and Jill, was if you die of a heart attack or cancer, Jill and the kids don't lose the home, and they're having to either be homeless or moving with their relatives. And so I don't care what we do tonight, but let's just take care of the mortgage. Let's protect your family, and I mean that, and they know I mean it, and that's what I'm talking about in terms of closing, not the twisting the arm kind of thing, and the whole car sales thing. We used to take their keys and throw them on the roof. That's not what I'm talking about. You don't have to do that in this business. In fact, you don't want to do that in this business. You want to stay on the emotional side, and that's one of the reasons why we teach our agents some tips and even how to fill out the application. It keeps them focused on the reason why they're meeting with you tonight and the reason why they're making that decision, and many times making the sacrifice for financial sacrifice for booking the appointment and buying the life insurance. Look, there's a lot of things people would rather spend the money on rather than life insurance. My life insurance has cost me $500, $600, $700 a month for most of my life, and I could have drove a really, really, really nice car. But it was important to me that my kids, because my dad passed away at a very young age, and our college plans dramatically changed, and as a result, our lives changed because our careers changed without an education, without going into the field that we dreamed of going in, because we couldn't afford the college anymore. And so I understand the other side of that, right? So. And it doesn't take much for someone to make that decision, but you have to be willing to have that conversation with them so that they internalize what could happen if you walk out that door, right? I mean, look at the world we live in right now. We live in a very violent world. Anybody can go like that, they're gone, right? Overnight. So, you know, literally waiting a couple days. I mean, I hear it all the time. We all hear it if you're in the business. You know, get with me next month, next week. We want to check around. You know, follow me in a month. A lot can happen in a month, right? I just told you about a situation where I left, and then 2 hours later, woman was dead. So that's what I'm talking about. I think you have to be able to do that, you know, and learn how to get some leads, learn how to book some appointments, learn how to handle objections, learn how to go into a home, make a presentation, learn how to close, bring them to the point of making that decision, and learn how to write applications. If you can learn that, literally, I mean, you know, you can make 6 figures a year doing this part-time and really have work-life balance. You know, again, I love the career, and I love working with our agents, and I love making a difference while also making a living. All right, I gotta go. 2 minutes before I'm in the door. Have a great night and or great day whenever, I don't know what time you watch this video. But don't forget the objections worksheet I promised you, or the objection quotes that I promised you. So comment below that you want a copy of that, and email me, because I need to be able to email it back to you, and I'll give it to you. Hit the subscribe button, hit the bell so that you're getting instant notifications, and I appreciate you supporting the channel. Bye bye now.